your super basic chair workout at home that you can just start with seated and standing for your balance, let's bump that up a notch. So I'm facing my chair. I'm putting one foot on top of it. If you need to, you can hold on to the edge. And this is just a nice warm up and hip flexor stretch. So I just lean towards the chair and back away. And I'm just melting into my hip joint. And whether you need support, you can hold here, or you can just place your hands on your hips and just lean. As I lean forward, I'm pushing my foot down so that I get this stretch and I feel the activation through my hamstrings. And I'm just going to do a few of those, really trying to focus on the warming up in that hip joint. Just a few more. And good. Now, switch feet. And we just keep shifting our weight forward and back, getting that hip flexor stretch. Easy, easy. Feel this foot driving down into the chair. And you want to make sure that your chair is stable. It should definitely not have wheels on it when you're using it for these kind of movements. And you know, this is not the most comfortable chair given that it is pretty much plastic and hard. So, you know, a wooden chair, a chair with a little bit of squishiness to it, any kind of padding, will feel pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to put my hands on the chair and I'm going to walk out into a plank. Now again, this is a more advanced movement if you are not strong in your wrists. And all we're going to do is hold that plank, taking deep breaths. I'm up on the balls of my feet. And I want you to start with 20 seconds. And since I am not looking at a timer, I'm going to just shift my body back away. And then I'm slowly going to let my hips drop towards the chair. And I unfold into that plank again. And again, I'm shooting for a minimum of 20 seconds holding. And just keep breathing and pushing up away from the chair. Holding it there. Shifting your hips back. Now, you may need to modify. So modify would be you're on your forearms, and we're just going to hold this here. And again, same rule of thumb, we're going to go for those 20 seconds. I'm pushing up away from my elbows and my forearms. And I'm just going to keep breathing and pulling my abs up into my back. And then shifting back. So that was the modification. Let's do 2 more modifications just in case you need it. If you don't need it, keep doing your planks. So modification number 2 is that you're just hovering here with bent knees, pulling up away from your forearms, and trying to do just a hover as opposed to a longer lever, which is the long legs. And then your other modification would be that instead of being here, you could go with your hips back a little bit and just hold this and do your 20 seconds there. And again, I'm not counting, so let's just say 10, 9, 8, 7, or 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, now let's do more of a flow that moves. So the more advanced flow would be that you shift forward into that plank, lift through your ribs and your spine, lower your heels down. Round up through your spine, shifting forward, come into that plank, pulling those ribs up and your belly muscles up and down. So this is exactly as though you were on the reformer doing your up stretch series. Really pull ribs up, pull the belly up, and lower, and again, up. Really articulate over your shoulders, holding it there, pulling the belly muscles up, lowering down. I'm going to show one more just like this, and then I'm going to give you the modification. So the modification is exactly what you think it is. You are just going to adjust yourself, shift forward on your forearms, lift your body back and drop your heels. Lift your heels, lift your ribs, shift forward. And probably it would be better for me to be back so that I don't hit my head on the chair, but anyways, you get the gist of what your modification is. And then just give yourself a stretch, bending one knee at a time. Good. So now let's just give that just a tiny bit of a break because that's a lot of arms to start. And what we'll do is we are going to use this chair as though it were the bar of the reformer, or as though it were a ball, whatever you needed. But what we're going to do is put our legs on top and press down into the chair, coccyx curl. Press through your arms and just bridge your hips up. I'm digging my heels and my calves down, and then I very slowly lower. Now you can also put the arches of your feet right here at the edge of your chair. Push your feet down, slowly bridge and get those hips up nice and high, and lowering back down. Once again, push through your feet, press down. Being careful, obviously my chair is slipping, so you want to be careful that that doesn't happen to you. And we slowly lower back down. The entire time, I want you to feel the connection through your feet, down into the chair as your hips rise up. Push down, very, very, very slowly, lower through your spine, releasing the tailbone at the bottom. And again, coccyx curl, pull your belly muscles in. Feel a heaviness in your sternum and your rib cage. Lift those hips up. Make sure that your neck is free. Lower slowly back down. And then we're going to go up one more time. Let's press down through our feet, lift those hips up, maintain that connection. We are going to pulse those hips up for 20, 19, 18, and you can see my chair is slipping. And my hamstrings are really fired up. I'm not too high off the ground. I'm really engaged in my abs. My feet are pushing down. And let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and good. Lower down. Now I'm going to just pull this in a little bit. Let one leg rest. Bring the other knee into my chest. Extend up to the sky, flexing and pointing a few times just to release any kind of cramping that could have happened. Letting the other leg down, and then this one comes up, same thing, flexing and pointing, pulling it towards me. Okay, now let's go back up. This time, let's go heels together, toes apart. And we're going to bridge turned out. Now very slowly lower back down. If this is uncomfortable on your feet, feel free to put a pillow or a towel on top of your chair for some kind of cushioning. You can also put your chair against a wall so that the chair doesn't move or slip out from underneath you. And we're just going to do 2 more of these. Now, take note that I am moving slowly. I'm pushing down, curling my hips underneath me, lifting up. I'm holding it there, so I really feel that lift. I feel my feet push down, and then I slowly lower down through my spine. And then I'm just going to do one more nice and easy, keeping my hips up. I'm going to stay up, and I'm going to do those pulses again for 20, 16, 12, 2, and yes, that burns. Okay, I'm gonna grab my legs and just give my hips a little bit of a stretch. If you want, you can do a happy baby, just taking those pinkies and going like this and bringing your knees in, just giving yourself a squish. And now let's take it up a notch. So what we're going to do is do single legs as we rise up. So you lift a knee, lower it back down. And again, you can hear and see that my chair is moving. So I'm going to do my best to keep it in place. And up. And I'm keeping my knee bent. You are welcome to extend. Lower it back down. Extend. I want you to resist as you come back down. Press, leg comes up. Resist it as you come back down. Again, up. Lowering down. I'm going to move my chair a little closer so it doesn't get too far away from me. Up. Lowering down. It's just going to move. That's just the way it is right now. And one more time. This last one, I'm going to stay up there and pulse. Hopefully I won't lose my chair. And then staying lifted, switch feet, and there goes my chair. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And good. Hug your knees in. All right. Now, I'm going to carefully come up, and I'm going to use my chair for my side lying leg series. So, my inside of my foot is pushing down into the chair, and I lift and lower. Now you can see what happens is that this leg has to stay long. So I lift and lower. Now I want to try to touch the top of the chair. Maybe that works, maybe it doesn't work for you. The key is that this side stays nice and strong. And keep pushing both sides. So inner thigh lifts as this side pushes down. I'm trying to keep a little bit of space right here at my rib cage so that I'm not letting my ribs and chest spill forward. And it's just really good side body work. And I'm just going to do a few more. And I would prefer it if you move slow. So think of the top of the movement as a hold, then drop it back down. Hold it, then drop it back down. Now you're going to hold it up there and we pulse it. I'm doing 20. I'm halfway there. And that should burn. All right, now rest for just a second. Take a deep breath in and out. Your top shoulder should be relaxed. The bottom leg lifts up again. We just do little tiny circles. We're trying to keep this side very still as the bottom is circling. And if you need to, you can hold it. Now I'm reversing. And I really feel my inner thigh. And you don't have to lift too high to feel that. I'm going to do one more set each direction. Pressing that top side down. And then I'm going to reverse it. And those really will feel. Okay, now just rest for a second. Now what we're going to do is bring that elbow right underneath you. Now this is definitely more advanced, so if you don't feel that this is for you, you don't need to do this. I have my top arm supporting me, my elbow is down. I'm just doing a side plank and holding. And staying there. And then if you feel like you're super advanced and this is no big deal for you, you can lift up and just do little leg lifts. But if you feel like, you know what, I'm good, I'm just going to focus on this, just stay with that. We're only doing 5. You could also not use the chair and just do a modified side plank that just looks like this. The elbow is underneath you. Hold it, take some deep breaths, lower back down. And again, same thing, just holding it. And then the final modification would be that the top leg is up, the bottom knee is bent, and you just hold it like this. Never be afraid to do modifications. Do what's right for your body. And come in, and then I'm going to flip, have my back to you. And we do the same thing on the second side. So the top leg is flexed, this hip is long, and we do a very slow lift and hold, and lower back down. I'm really reaching this hip and leg long, up and down. And again, it comes up and down. And I feel this whole side of my waist lifting and being supported. This side is lengthening. I'm trying to lift as high as I can. Some days are easier than others. And I'll just do a couple more. Now I'm going to stay lifted. And here I'm going to pulse 20 times. The top leg is pushing down to stabilize me. Trying to stay very long here. And I'll do 10 more. Last 2. And rest for just a second. Adjust your foot if you need to. And then we go into the 2 sets of 10 circles each direction. So we begin by circling up. 2. I'm still flexed and lengthening here. And then I'm going to reverse it. And it's starting to feel, and then I reverse again. 7, 8, 9, and 10, then I reverse again. And I'm doing multiple sets because that way I really activate my inner thigh line. And I'm really working on the stability here on the top side. All right, so let's go through your planks. Your first one, if you're strong enough, you can go here and just hold it. And just really feel that shoulder support, waist support, top leg pushing down. Now, second option is you're strong. You take your arm up, you can do little leg lifts, holding it there. Being careful though that you don't hyperextend the inside of the knee. Another modification is that your knees are bent and your hips are up here. And you stay there feeling this right here, this bottom side pushing down, hips lifting up. One more modification is top leg up, bottom leg bent, and you come into this balance here. Staying lifted. And your final is just that you've done 5 of these, holding, pressing, lengthening, reaching, and lowering back down. Okay, good. So now, this is not the heaviest chair and it's not the most stable. However, what I'm going to do is lie on my back, and then I'm going to hold on to the chair, whether I'm holding on the legs or the seat. It really depends on the chair that you have. But by squeezing the chair, it's going to activate your arms and activate your ab muscles. So we're going to start by just bringing one knee up, squeeze the chair, bring the other knee up, then keep squeezing, bring one foot down, and then the other. And we go up, squeeze, up, down, and down. Alternating. And like I said, the more you squeeze the chair, the more you're going to feel your triceps and feel your core activate. And then this is my last set. I'm going to stay up. Now I'm squeezing the chair as hard as I can. My head is down. I extend one leg out. Slowly squeeze the chair, bring it back in. My other leg goes out. I'm squeezing and out and in. Now, a reminder, if you have back issues, the leg doesn't have to go low. You just keep it unfolding up Squeeze the chair, bring it back in. If you're strong, challenge yourself, lower and hover, and bring it back in. So you do the version that makes the most sense for your body, wherever it is today. Just a couple more. And last one of each. Okay, place your feet down on the ground. Elbows are wide. Just stretch your back for a second. Okay, now you have your double leg stretch, just like you do when you are doing your workout in your mat work. So bring a knee to a tabletop. Remember, we're squeezing that chair. Now you inhale, extend the legs. Exhale, bring them back in. You can take your legs up. You can take your legs even lower. Whatever works in your body, you don't even have to go through full range, you could go right there. And bring it back in. Squeeze the chair, extend. Bring it back in. And if you feel like it, you can lift your head, lower your head. You have options with pretty much everything that you do. But the nice thing about having this chair to squeeze is that it will help you activate your core muscles. Last two. And we'll do just one more time. All right, now this is for those of you who are strong enough. Pull into the chair, do little hip lifts. And if you're not strong enough and you feel like you're going to pull that chair over with you, just hold, bring your legs towards you, stretch your spine, lower the legs away from you. So remember, you can go up and down, or you just go stretch. And again, we're only doing about 5 of these. And then we're going to curl our upper body up through our arms and we scissor. And if that's too much for your neck, you go head down. Feel your shoulders pushing down, careful to not tip your chair. Last two. And one. And one. Bend those knees in, hug them against your chest. Taking deep breaths in. And now slowly come up. And we're just going to finish with a little bit more standing work using your chair as a bar. And then you're done. So I have one hand on, my opposite leg goes back, and I'm just going down and up, down and up. Now, if that's too much for you, you just drop a little, come up, and up. And this is just to kind of get your blood pumping again. You were lying on the ground. So let's come back to our vertical. Just a few more. Last two. And one, stay down there and just pulse if you can. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now stay there on 10. Shift over your leg. Drop back down. And just 10 of these. And I'm not trying to go very far, I'm just coming up over my leg. Just 3 more. And last one, bringing my legs together, quick switch of the weight, and we're just gonna go down and up. And up. Pretty easy. Keeping my body warm. Now if you can go lower, go lower. If not, just keep it here. Just a few more. Keep your range, whatever feels good for you. Now I'm going to come down and just pulse. 6, 7, no big deal. All right, now I'm going to go over and up. I have a feeling I left something out. It's entirely possible. I forget from one side to the next. Doesn't have to be big. We're just going up and over, drop back down. Up and over, drop back down. Now notice that I'm not letting my head drop. I'm keeping it springing away from my foot. Last 2, and 1. Bring your feet together, come back to where we started, and just stretch, bending a knee, bending the other knee, slowly rolling back up, coming forward, and that should give you a little bit of strength, a little bit of cardio, and just a lot of familiarity of how the chair can act like your reformer. And I hope it goes well.